Hi, it's me again, your marketing director, and today I'm going to show you the value of Excel. Excel, as you all probably know it, is a tool used in, well, many situations, but mostly in mathematical and statistical analysis. It is a tool which is simplified, but has many varied and complex functions. It is an easy to use tool which will accomplish much with not a lot of work. And as such, I am here to show to you the value of such a tool. With Excel, what you can do is you can make tables, you can make charts, and you can interact with the both of them to create even more complex tables, more complex charts, which can demonstrate a lot through the use of small codes and small formulas. Um, Here, what I've done is I've taken this large database of orders from a company, which includes the order IDs, the dates, the ship dates, where it's coming from, the profit made, what type of product was sold. It is a very big database, but I'm only going to be showing you what to do with a small part of it. And here I took about, let's say, 15 orders. I don't remember exactly. Yes, and I put them in here. This is a table, and it is a pivot table. A pivot table allows you to attribute categories to data and thus play with them as you want to show certain things and when you want to hide other things in order to put perspective into a lot of data that can be shown. So in here, I went and let's say I loaded 46 rows, therefore 46 orders, well, 47 rows including the titles. And with these, I created a pivot table. Here it's, well, let me clear that up. Here it's the pivot table in which if we go into analyze here, we can see you have a great deal of many different categories, and you can basically customize your own pivot table. The pivot table is like the regular table in which, but you can customize by adding a set fix of data to it and labeling each data with a distinct category. Um, and here, what the categories are, well, they're all those I mentioned earlier. And by, let's say, here I put the city in the rows, so that's how I was going to determine, well, distinguish each from another. So if from a marketing perspective, you're trying to look at what to analyze for each city. Is it making profit? Is it taking a lot of order? And you can add all you want. You can say, oh, um, well, what are the sales, the quantities, the discount, and everything like this. And yeah, by tweaking around this, you get a different pivot table. By tweaking around the fields, you get a different pivot table. And from this pivot table, you can insert pivot charts, which are the second part. And pivot charts are really useful. And when you insert a pivot chart from, oops, well, from here, you can select any type. Let's say we go for a pie chart here. It's another one of these. And then you can insert a slicer. So the whole goal of pivoting or pivot charts and pivot tables are to take the regular tables and the regular charts and make them into concrete tools which allow for quick analysis, maybe presentations, and especially marketing. Let's say you were trying to get new business partners, where you can easily build a demonstrative platform through Excel. And here you say, well, you send the file and you say, well, look at the sales for Concord. Well, you see the amount of sales, the count of order ID, and the sum of profit. Here, nothing is tweaked, but you get the point. You can tweak it out to be to change the columns for concrete numbers. You can change it for different like quarters, different timelines, different companies, different regions, different sales, different profit, and you can include more than one if you want to compare different. Let's say, oh, here I see I'm not making profit in Fort Lauderdale, but I'm making profit in Egan, and that's considerate. next time we make a business decision. And you can clear it all up, and you can add any type of really pivot chart you're trying to get in order to have um, more material to present and more to develop on. It is a really excellent tool, as opposed to, let's say, using just using this as a regular table, not a pivot table, and then you want to show a certain region to your client or to your potential business partner. Well, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to create a lot of tables. You select this data here, and then you insert a table somewhere else. Well, just a table. Like this is already a pivot table that I can't. But if you select this data and you insert a table somewhere, well, then you're going to have a lot more work to do. You're going to have to create separate tables that show, let's say you create 8 tables to show the 8 regions. Well, you can have all of those in one pivot table, which saves you time, is more sophisticated, well, it's more simplified, it's more pleasing to the eye, and it's more easy to use. And all in all, it's more sophisticated and a lot better. Same goes for the pivot charts. Well, creating a big amount of charts, well, that's going to be hard. And well, not harder. It's not necessarily hard, but it's going to be a lot more work. And what we're trying to do here in marketing and all these business situations is to reduce the amount of work for a certain result while maintaining the same quality. And in this case, we save time, and we save time and we improve. And that was it for pivot charts and pivot tables. A lot of other tools are in Excel as well. In order to save time, for example, instead of computing data, let's say this data here, instead of computing it by hand, if you want to get perhaps the profits, let's say here, you want to add up the profits of of all of these regions. If you group them together in a certain province or just United States, let's consider this set of data as a set of data for the United States, and you want to add a profit of all regions. Well, you could go here and say, oh, this is going to be the profit, and I'm going to calculate it. Well, it's equal to 14.56 plus 30 plus 48.48. You get the point. It's really long. Well, what Excel offers you is a great deal of formulas. The same formulas you learned in math at school, you can now apply to Excel in order to save time. Let's say I wanted to profit for the United States region. Profit USA. And here, what I do is I simply go equal for this particular cell to be equal to something, and this something is going to be a sum, a formula, sum. And in this sum, I want to include all of these regions, cities, provinces, whatever. I want to include all of these as profit. So I'm going to have to include these. I select it, and this gives me the range. You can type it manually, of course, if you want to add different things, put commas, put dots. But in this case, I want this range. And that's it. I've saved myself a lot of time. Maybe I've saved 45 seconds out of a minute. But by doing something that would usually take 45 seconds in 15 seconds, well, I can do 4 times more and be a lot more productive, which is a big deal in this business and in life in general, in any type of work, in office work, in business work, even if in athletic work, in any type of work, efficiency is the key. And through efficiency, you have to use a lot of tools that are offered to you. Excel is a very concise, precise, and simplified tool. Same could be made if you want to calculate any type of more complicated formulas. Well, you have a bank here, and you can go into formulas and see all of the different formulas that are to be offered in Excel. And while we're talking about optimization, well, another optimization, of course, is macros. When getting used to Excel and getting used to the different functions and maintaining a high level of efficiency while creating presentations, preparing business projects, trying to lure in clients, and or making interesting offers to potential business partners, well, one gets better with different tools he's offered as well as Excel. And at a certain point, well, it's not only about efficiency, it's about optimization. And with repetitive work, sometimes a certain action you do, and then you are going to apply the same exact actions onto another file and another file and another file. You have to do these 4 times, let's say, for 4 different files, but the actions you're going to make are the same. So instead of doing it 4 times, one can do it 1 time, record it using a macro, and then apply the macro to the 4 different other files, and therefore getting 4 times the actions, or repetitive actions, through one single action. Here, well, let's say this page has no macros at all, you can record a macro. Let's say macro main, the main macro, by adding a shortcut key. Let's say Control Q in this main action of file analysis. Let's say you work at a business company, or you work at any company, and this is going to be your main action. Well, your main macro is just, let's say, reorganizing basic data from orders. You work at a shipping company. Oh, sorry. Here. And here, I'm recording a macro, so not every action I do can be replicated. Let's say for the first actions, I'm going to select here the order numbers and bold them, so that every single time I press this macro on a certain data set, the rows are going to be bolded. Let's say this is how the data arrives from another company, but my own general manager wants me to have here, oops, sorry, this inverted with this. Oops, well, bolden this up. Well, let's say I just wanted to invert them. I just do the action in between. I'm sorry, I just forgot how to invert them. But let's say we go to the profits here, and we want these regions to have profit in alphabetical order. Oh no, that's not in alphabetical order. Sorry, I wanted to transfer these numbers, which are clear profit, well, it are clear currency numbers, into currency. And here, so now I know that these are dollars. Here I can make it bigger so that it is easier to see, easier to manipulate, and all of these. Well, this is just a basic macro. If I stop recording it, and then I select another, just delete this. Oops. And I get another data set. Let's see these. Sorry. And I put them here, and then I apply the macro. There we are. They will have been boldened up. I miscalculated by my one row, but this is a minor detail that you can figure out on yourself. And here for the profits, or well, perhaps these were the sales, no matter, I have the exact number that transformed into $1. These are the main tools. There are many other tools that can be of use to you when trying to discover Excel, but these are the main tools that will save you time, optimize your work, and allow you to be as most efficient as you can while working and while seeking out business opportunities, business offers, while working in the field of work, well, of computer work and of computer affairs. Thank you for listening.